radioulnar joint. Here is an artery which separates, and this artery up to here, up to this point, this artery is called the inferior ulnar collateral artery. Now you will say, what are these, right? So we will show you, we will say about these arteries a little bit while, right? Very good, friends. So inferior ulnar collateral artery, superior ulnar collateral artery, middle collateral artery, radial collateral artery, deltoid artery, and here's another small branch, right? And this branch enters into the nutrient foramen of this humerus bone. It enters into the nutrient foramen of this humerus bone, and that's why this artery is named as nutrient artery. Nutrient artery. Right, friends. So up to now we have covered the branches of brachial artery. Very good. Now look carefully. Let's come down and see what are here. Look, friends. Here is an artery. This artery. Let me use black color for these arteries because these arteries are recurrent arteries. Right? Listen carefully. These arteries are recurrent arteries. That's why we said that these are the recurrent arteries, right? So what is this artery? This is this artery bifurcates from here, separates from here, and goes a little bit forward superiorly, and anastomosis with this branch of this radial collateral artery, right? So here's an anastomosis between these two arteries. I'm sure you are clear about this. What is this artery called? This artery is called the radial recurrent artery, right? Let me use black color. Radial recurrent artery, right? So this radial recurrent artery and radial collateral artery, both of them anastomosis at this point, right? So that's why we say radial collateral artery is a branch of, look, this is radial artery, right? So radial artery gives us a recurrent branch, and this branch is called the radial recurrent artery, right? And it joins with what? It joins with radial collateral artery. Okay, done with it. Now let's come here. Here are two other recurrent arteries, right? Here is one and here is another recurrent arteries. You can see these recurrent arteries are separated from what? From ulnar artery, right? So they are going up like this and making anastomosis here, one with inferior collateral artery and the other one with superior collateral artery, right? So superior collateral artery, ulnar collateral artery and inferior ulnar collateral artery will make anastomosis with these two arteries, and these two arteries are the recurrent arteries, and these are known as anterior ulnar recurrent artery, and the next one is posterior ulnar recurrent artery. So this one, right, this short one is the anterior ulnar recurrent. Okay, let me write it a little up so that you can see it clear in the camera. This is our anterior ulnar recurrent artery, right? Okay, done with it. And this one, right, this one is the posterior ulnar recurrent artery. This one is the posterior ulnar recurrent artery, right? So look carefully what happens. These arteries are the recurrent artery which I have shown in a black color, which I have named them in black color. And look, I will show you all these arteries like this. This is the recurrent artery which is called the radial recurrent artery. This is the artery which is called the posterior ulnar recurrent artery, and it goes in anastomosis with the superior radial ulnar collateral artery. And this artery is another recurrent artery, and it goes and anastomosis with the inferior ulnar collateral artery, right? So this recurrent is the radial recurrent, this recurrent is the posterior ulnar recurrent, and this recurrent is the anterior ulnar recurrent. Now look carefully, look dear friends, there is another recurrent artery, right? This one, right? Look, this is our radial artery, right? So from radial artery medially there is a branch which separates, and this branch is called the common interosseous artery. Let me name it here. This is our common interosseous artery. We will discuss about it later while we are discussing about the branches of the radial artery. Okay, this common interosseous artery gives a recurrent artery, and it goes and joins with this middle collateral artery, right? So that's why it is called the interosseous recurrent artery. Here is another recurrent artery, right? All the three recurrent arteries I have darkened with blue color so you could clearly understand it. Look, this is a branch of this recurrent artery, is a branch of common interosseous artery. So that's why we name it as, we name it interosseous recurrent artery, and it goes and in anastomosis is with this middle collateral artery, right? So this is interosseous recurrent artery, right friends? So look, this was about the branches, all the branches, and some branches of the from some anastomosis is also here. So this was the branch about the branches of the brachial artery. So what are the main branches which arise from the brachial artery? The first one is the profunda brachii, then there is nutrient artery, right? Then there is radial collateral, middle collateral, superior ulnar collateral, inferior ulnar collateral artery. These are the arteries. And what are the recurrent arteries? There are 4 recurrent arteries. Look, radial recurrent, which is a branch of radial artery. Ulnar recurrent, anterior ulnar recurrent, which is a branch of ulnar artery. Anterior ulnar recurrent, posterior ulnar recurrent, which is also a branch of ulnar artery, and from ulnar artery there is a common interosseous artery, and it gives a branch which is recurrent, and this is a branch of common interosseous. That's why we say that this is interosseous recurrent artery, and it's anastomosis with what? It anastomosis with the middle collateral artery, right? So this was the difficult thing that you were seeing on the whiteboard, and now I think it should be easy for all of you guys, so that you can divide the brachial artery into its branches, right? So the brachial artery also gives off 2 other branches. This one is called the radial artery, right? And this one is called the ulnar artery. So this radial artery, ulnar artery are also the branches of the brachial artery. Now friends, one thing more which is very important, here are some very small branches which perforate the muscles, and here are not too much muscles. Here is the skin, right? So here are some small branches, some small perforating branches, and these branches I will mention here, that these branches which supply the skin of this area and the fascia which are present here, those are called fasciocutaneous perforators, right? So I'm writing it here. So those are the fasciocutaneous perforators. So you should not forget about perforators. We shouldn't forget these small branches which are arising from these group of arteries here, and they supply the muscles, they supply the skin and the fascia which are present here. So that's why we call them the fasciocutaneous perforators, right? So I haven't mentioned the branches here. I have shown all the branches in this area. So I hope you understand all the branches of this brachial artery. Now from here we have started, right? The subclavian artery and its branches we have discussed in previous lectures. The axillary artery and its branches we have discussed, and now in this lecture I discussed about the branches of brachial artery. So we have come up to the cubital fossa, right? So here it bifurcates into radial and ulnar artery. Now moving forward, we will draw our diagram here, and we will see the arteries which are present in forearm. This is our arm, right? And we will see the branches in the forearm, and then we will go towards the hand and then towards the phalanges, and we will cover all the blood supply of our upper limb. So I think it's enough for this lecture, and I hope it makes some sense to you guys. So it's a humble request that if you like our lectures, please subscribe our channel, please share our videos with your friends, and write down in comment section for me. So see you in the next lecture. Till then, bye.